Let's talk about the change in system. It was a 3-4-3 to match the German side. Everyone kept saying, oh, Gareth Southgate too negative. But he's certainly proved his doubters wrong with this win, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think the whole tournament and for the last few months has been building towards this formation. He knows that to win tournaments, you have to keep clean sheets. You have to be hard to beat. He knows that France did that winning the World Cup. Other nations have won that winning tournaments. And the key is the balance. And I think with Walker, Stones, Maguire, with them three, he can either play a three at the back or he can put Walker out to a fullback and play a four. But for me, the key has been the double six, the platform in front of that back three or back four. Phillips right. Energy in that midfield. And for me, that's provided the platform, the back three, the two in front, or the back four. And then you can have changes going forward. You can play a 3-4-3, or you can play a 4-2-3-1, get an extra attacker onto the field. And, I think all the criticism, I think Gareth was vindicated last night in his choice of team and choice of formation.
Yeah. Let's talk about the goal for Harry Kane and the significance of that, Steve, shall we? He missed chances for a while during that game. He looked out of sorts again, but then he scores. Is there a feeling, a sense, a real belief that when you get that one goal, this could be the spark that sees the real Harry Kane step forward?
Yeah, I think he suffered the most from probably England's pragmatic approach, hard to beat approach. He scores from crosses, balls into the box. And in the tournament so far, there has not been enough crosses, balls into the box for him to feed on. Yes, his general play has always been there, but he's not had the ball in the box. He scores from crosses. He scored last night because we crossed the ball. We didn't do it enough. We need to do it more. And when we do that, Harry Kane will come to the fore. He showed that yesterday. I think this just could be the kickstart for him in this tournament. And we need Harry Kane scoring.
Then there's Raheem Sterling, again with the opener for England. He shouldn't really have to prove himself to anyone, but there was a sense that with the season that he'd had with City, there were question marks, which seems unfair, but there you go. So how has he taken his level up so much for this tournament?
Basically, he's playing for England. And he knows when he plays for England that he's got the faith, trust, confidence from Gareth, his staff, from everybody. He's shown that for the past 3 or 4 years. He knows he's the man. He knows he's probably first on that team sheet for Gareth when he plays for England. And that gives a player enormous confidence. What the forwards need, what the strikers need, goal scorers, assisters need, they need confidence from the manager. And he's certainly got that, and his performances are showing it.
Where are we at with Bukayo Saka's confidence then? Because he had such a wonderful game last time out. He was selected for this one. How impressed were you with him and what he brought to the game?
I mean, Gareth's so bold in actually playing it. Foden, Mount, any one of them two deserve to be in the team, but he stuck with Saka. And I think his innocence, his energy, his speed, he beats players. He's got that. Defenders do not like to play against speed. They do not like to play against Sterling. They don't like to play against Saka or Grealish. Players who can beat you one-on-one, can get behind defences, cause chaos. And that's what Saka can do. I think he played excellent in the first half. I think he fell away in the second half, and Gareth made good changes.
I guess, Steve, you don't get to become manager of your country unless you are single-minded and you have faith in your beliefs. But Jack Grealish coming on and doing what he did, the clamour for him to start is only going to increase. The noise is going to get louder. How difficult is it to block that noise out and to concentrate on what Gareth Southgate thinks is right and being single-minded when the whole nation perhaps is clamouring for his inclusion?
I think you've just mentioned the word minded. Gareth, you can see that. I had him as a captain, as a player, and he never went over the top. Never went over the top in terms of celebration. Never went over the top in terms of praise. He just sat in the corner after great victories, big wins, with a huge smile on his face. And all I can picture is Gareth in that England dressing room with a huge smile on his face, knowing that that's just another step over. And what he's got in his squad, it's a great squad. He's got match winners. And Grealish is one of them match winners. Can you imagine the headache that Gareth must have when he's having to pick 3 forward players out of the likes of, Sterling, Saka, Sancho, Rashford, Grealish, Kane? There's so much talent there that he knows that winning a tournament, the key is the bench, is the squad. And England yesterday wore the Germans down with their physicality, with their energy, so that any team playing against England, the last 20 minutes, they are going to be flat out. And that's when, if he hasn't won the game already, he can turn round to the bench and go, okay, Grealish on, Sancho, Rashford, whoever, match winners on. That's what he did yesterday. And Grealish, what a, when you turn around and you look at the quality on the bench, and you've got Grealish to come on, and and these little sublime touches, he just creates opportunities. An assistant can score, and him coming on won the game for England.
I know Gareth Southgate will understand it. I mean, I saw the celebrations afterwards, Steve, and yeah, they deserved it. Yes, the fans were excited, but I wonder if you're Gareth right now, are you worried that you need to focus the players once again? This wasn't the final, although the atmosphere in there felt like it. You need to get their feet back on the ground, because if they go into the game in Rome thinking it's already won, it's inevitable that they'll lose, isn't it?
No, they won't do that. Rob, they won't do that. This was a huge game. Momentum is massive in football, massive in tournament football. He will know that. I think this is the best chance for many, many years with this squad that Gareth has got to win this tournament. Not just dominate now, but dominate in the future. Because these are young players. It's a young squad. It will get better and better. We haven't fulfilled, I don't think, our potential yet. That is yet to come. Gareth knows that. The players will look at him last night and this morning and know that he will be focused on Ukraine on Saturday. And they must be too.
Yeah. Thomas Muller at one point, when it was 1-0, went through, shot wide. England haven't had much luck in the past. Is there a feeling that maybe for once it's on England's side?
Every team will think that. You look at Switzerland, all them teams that have gone through and been behind and come back and think this is their moment. I think about the Denmark team, what happened to Eriksen. Momentum with them now, and they've got a cause in this tournament. They can be dangerous opponents. But the key to winning football matches is there are 2 or 3 defining moments within a game that you win or lose on them. It's either a great goalkeeper save, which picked the 2 or 3 yesterday, or it's a moment like Muller going through and he misses that opportunity that could change the game. Defining moments must go for you. They did yesterday. But you have to work hard for them defining moments. You have to be good enough to take them defining moments. And England did that yesterday, and hopefully will do in the next few games.
Yeah. It was always a considered thought that actually finishing second in the group was more favourable. But the draw is now looking okay for England, as it is, to be fair, for Ukraine or Denmark or whoever on that side of the draw. Okay, dare we mention the words coming home, Steve? Is it football?
No, we're still miles away. And these teams like Ukraine, Denmark, you think that, we should brush these aside. They're dangerous because teams win games, teams win tournaments. Yes, individuals can win games, but You know, and this is why France has gone out, because they weren't a team, they were individuals, and they can win games with individual skill and talent. They can go 3-1 up, but easy if they're not a team, can come back to 3-3 like they did and go out on penalties. So there's still a long, long way to go in this tournament. And believe you me, Ukraine, if we get by them and then the next ones is Denmark or Czech Republic have approved, teams win tournaments, and they are good teams. Still a long way to go.
Yeah, okay. It is a bit like many people in the pub last night. I might be coming home, but just not yet. That's what you're saying, isn't it? Okay, Steve, thanks very much for joining us this morning.